Attention sports fans. Whether you're chasing the hottest rookie card, that next big autographed sports card, or looking for expert card services, Real Sports Cards is here for you. For everything from sports to Pokemon cards, visit the store in downtown Waupun today. Go to the Apple Store or Google Play and download the Real Sports Cards app for all live online card breaks. Watch, collect, and win from anywhere. Real Sports Cards, where sports fans come to play.
You guys are late. No, we're not. We are, but it's not our fault.
No, the Brewers, game going long in the pitch clock era.
Over 3, it wasn't officially over 3 hours. It was 2:50 something. But yeah, losing 11-1, multiple pitching changes, lots of players left on base, despite the fact they only scored 1 run. That will drag a ball game on.
Yeah, so you got us for 15 minutes today. So call it a little bit of a break from Corey and Wally. But you got 15 minutes, so we're going to make the most of it.
Absolutely. We do want to give a shout-out to Key West Salon and Spa in Beaver Dam. Proud to have Jeremy the Barber. You can get your haircut in March. Ends today to be entered into a drawing for a baseball cap, $18 kids cuts. Jeremy brings experience to the barber chair and specializes in fades. He's a veteran, previously gave military cuts. Walk-ins are welcome Monday through Saturday at the salon, and you don't need to wait 6 weeks scheduling something out to get a cut. You can just go in, and they will do their very best for walk-ins to get you in their availability as soon as possible. Jeremy also has a punch card system. Buy 5 haircuts, get the 6th for free. And we promoted this heading into the weekend. I want to jump on it right now. and give all of you as much time as possible for the next, call it like 16, 17 minutes to call in. ESPN's Fantasy Focus Football Podcast is coming to Green Bay on April 23rd, the day before the draft. Field Yates, Daniel Dopp, Mike Clay, Liz Loza, and Stefania Bell are all doing a live show at the Tundra Trio, one of the houses right outside of Lambeau Field. ESPN Wisconsin wants to send you and a friend up to Green Bay to see the show happen live. We are going to make it super easy on you. Right now, the first person to call this number, 920-887-9595. That is 920-887-9595. Not only can you go and see that live show for free, you get invited out there with a friend, 2 free tickets, but you get to see the show up close and personal, meet all of the hosts, meeting Field Yates and all those other personalities in person is a pretty cool opportunity. You get complimentary food and drinks and Fantasy Focus Football Podcast merch as well. That is the first caller right now. And you can visit ESPNWisconsinContest.com for full details. Again, 920-887-9595. Aiden Voigt, our wonderful producer, is standing by. He'll get your name, your number, your email, and you get free tickets to the ESPN Fantasy Focus Football Podcast. Merch, drinks, food, everything. It should be a lot of fun.
Oh, I know. We've actually had teammates that want to go, and we had to tell them, no, I'm sorry. This is actually for the people out here in Beaver Dam. So take advantage of this. Plus, if you don't get the first call today, we're going to be luckily doing this for the next couple weeks. So just make sure you're tuned in from 4 to 5 when we give that out. Be that caller. You got a lot of chances. Make sure you take advantage of a really cool opportunity.
Yes, today through April 11th. And we'll kick off today's show. It's kind of going to be a monster segment. We are not taking any breaks due to the fact that we just got on the air a couple of minutes ago for an extra long baseball game today. So we'll just be on for about 15, 16 minutes here with you guys. Of course, you can call into the show as well if you would like outside of the contest, 920-887-9595. Question of the day is best tailgating traditions. I am not going to talk about that baseball game for obvious reasons. It's been a rough start.
47-15.
That's
through
the run
4
differential.
games.
Yeah.
32. When you're not scored by 32 in the first week of the season, I understand frustration. You guys have every right to be frustrated, but it's a long season. 162 games for a reason.
I wanted to talk torpedo bats, but I don't think I'm going to.
Yeah.
If they won today, I think I might have. It still helps.
It doesn't help. I guess when you give up 11 runs today, it kind of takes a little. It's like, I don't care what kind of bats they're using. They're getting across home plate right now.
Yeah, I don't think we can have that conversation anymore. And the offense struggled a lot. I know the pitching staff, specifically the starting rotation, the back end of it, they're missing Woodruff. They're missing Tobias Myers. So it's a little rough, but like you said, there's 162 of these for a reason. So we will not break down an 11-1 loss. I don't think that'd be fun for anyone. But with today being opening day for the Brewers at American Family Field, they had a lot of wonderful tributes for Bob Uecker, the legendary broadcaster, Mr. Baseball, who passed away a couple of months ago. So they had different signs in the outfield, the get up, get out of here in left center. And then in the broadcast booth as well, they had a bouquet of flowers, a mic stand, and everything in between. So that was awesome. For tailgating is where I kind of wanted to bring this in because you brought this up on Hometown Today on our FM 95.3 WBEV this morning. You wake up and go outside, and I didn't even realize that it snowed until I went out to my car and was like, oh, I got to track down the snow brush now.
No, this morning was brutal because it was one of those, I'm sure, Corey, you do the same, or at least I hope, because I'm not a crank the heat guy when it gets to like this stage of winter, early spring, whatever you want to call it. So I'm out there, I'm in my apartment, I'm like, it's a little nipply this morning.
Yeah.
What's going on here? And then undo the blinds, and there's just white powder everywhere. I'm like, no, we were done with this.
It had to have been snow.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I'm like, no, we cannot have this. We have opening day today. We are not allowed to have snow. So I'm happy we get to talk tailgating because we need something to remind us that summer is right around the corner.
And that's the funny part is I know because this is Wisconsin, I know there were people out there tailgating at like 8, 9, 10 in the morning. I've done it for a high A game in Appleton in like this weather before, and there were other people out there playing bags and doing other stuff. So I know there was tailgating. It could have been 20 degrees, everything freezing over. There still would have been people tailgating. So I wanted to talk about, and I'd love to hear from all of you guys as well, 920-887-9595. Thought it'd be cool to bring up tailgating traditions. It's going to happen 81 times, hopefully more at AmFam Field. Today was day number 1 for the 2025 season. Anything that you think of with tailgating that has to be there. If there's a get-together, this better be included, or you're going in the stadium early.
I'm going to get myself in the doghouse with you Wisconsinites right off the bat because it's cornhole. It's not bags.
It's playing bags.
It's cornhole.
Where's the corn? There's a hole.
Probably
Where's
in the bag.
corn?
That's right. I think that's the whole
Bean
point,
bags.
right? It's like the kernels of corn are in the bag. It's cornhole.
Corn bags, bean bags.
It's cornhole.
Yeah.
Anyways, Wisconsin is second to none when it comes to tailgating. I got to give this state its props. They're fantastic. Pittsburgh's right there. I'm not going to get into that whole thing. But it's fantastic here, especially in this weather, going out there and braving it. So what are the best traditions? I have a few. Cornhole, first of all, not bags. And then how about brats? Like going out there, especially up here, Wisconsin is fantastic with their brat selection. Obviously, we're partners with the wonderful Fox Brothers Piggly Wiggly. I love the jalapeno and cheese ones. But you throw that out there on the grill. You have that. You throw a couple pops back. And then one of my favorite thing I always did growing up is I loved to pester my dad. Hey, Dad, you want to play catch? And and my dad probably is sitting there now when I'm older and I've got my brain. I'm like, wait a minute. Yeah, there's a lot of cars around. No wonder he was so reluctant to play with me.
Yeah, you yank one wide, and it's not a whole lot of fun anymore.
Yeah, because like you're a little kid, you're just like, it's a den. Who cares? But like now you're older, you're like, wait a minute, it's a den.
Yeah, they're gonna go after us.
Well, I just don't want to be spending that for a game of catch. I can be doing it in my backyard. But there was something about asking your old man to have a catch with you at a baseball game, going in with your glove, being fired up to catch either a foul ball or home run ball. Sure, you're not going to come out with one probably, once every 100 games, it feels like?
Yeah.
But it was that belief that it's going to happen. I'm taking my glove. You wanted to feel like a ball player. So playing catch with your dad, to me, was just such a pinnacle of baseball. And it's just like, it reminds you it's back.
Have you ever caught a live ball at a game?
I have caught a foul ball.
That's crazy.
It was my grandfather got the home run ball went back in play, and then the right fielder threw it up, and he caught it. So I'm like, it's a home run ball, but it's like, catch it.
I've had that before where like it's a slow roller, and then the ball boy just goes here.
Exactly.
I've caught that. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, so like that's more or less what I'm saying too with the foul balls. Where you find it in the seats
Not
when you
off
go
the
get
bat.
it. I didn't catch it. Closest thing I ever remember is my dad went like full sprawling, and he got his hand on it, and he didn't catch it, and then he was like the rest of the night, he's like, well, I let him down, and meanwhile, we're just like, that was sweet.
Yeah.
That was pretty awesome,
He went after
man.
it. Yeah,
like you got your hand on that. How did that feel? It didn't feel good.
So playing catch is a good one. I've got that down here as well. Playing bags, cornhole, whatever you want to call it. The main thing is you got to stay moving, and I'd be curious if there was a study out there, like, are more people playing catch and playing cornhole, bags, whatever, anything else that you could throw out there? Are more people moving in 40 to 50 degree weather, or are they like huddled up going, okay, just give me a warm brat and a drink and I'm okay?
The only way I feel like you're huddled is if you have that grill like piping hot.
Yeah.
And it's like an excuse. It's almost like a little simulated like campfire where everybody's hanging around. I think, again, I mean, the team's called the Brewers for a reason. I think there's a lot of sitting still.
Yeah.
But there's other ways that they're trying to warm their body up, especially at the first time of the year. But it's all about moving. Whether you are playing games, what's that 1-2? I can't remember what it's called, where you have the balls tied on a string.
Ladder golf.
Golf.
I'm sure there's another name for that too.
I know, and that's why I was avoiding
East
that
Coast
other name.
Yep.
But I'm like, there's got to be an
Ladder
official
golf.
name. Ladder golf, like all those kind of like tailgate games. It's exciting. You get to go do that. Typically, you're hoping your team doesn't lose 11-1.
Yeah.
But at the same time, even if you do, there was something about that feeling of just being at the ballpark.
Oh, yeah.
Listening to the games, watching the games are special, but being in attendance, there's a different feel. Those $10 nachos taste better.
Yeah.
That like $8 pop or soda, whatever you want to call it here, it tastes better. There's something special about getting to a baseball game, especially this early in the year.
One of our teammates at ESPN Madison, Alex Gravatt, was talking with Pablo Iglesias for Saturday tip-off. I believe it started like 11:30 in the morning. Yep, on Saturday. And Alex was posing the question, how do you turn me into a baseball fan? Because he doesn't follow baseball. And Pablo was saying you need to go to a game.
Yes.
I think watching it, even in the pitch clock era, it's tough to get someone who's not already invested and has an appreciation for the sport. But like you said, if you're out there playing catch, if you're out there maybe getting some overpriced food, you got the hot dogs guys screaming right in front of you. Like that, the sights and sounds of the ballpark, you can't really simulate from your couch.
No.
So I think being there in person makes it extra special.
It does.
Yeah.
The organ you get to hear, you get to sing Roll Out the Barrel here. I know every town has their own kind of special traditions inside the game too. But it's the sights, it's the smells, it's the noise. Because again, I know today sucked from a competitive game perspective, the Brewers are going to figure it out. I'm not worried about them. But there is a element to like that. It's 4-3 in the ninth inning. Your team's either trying to close out a win or you're trying to just scrape one across to continue the game. You don't really get that feel at home. It's different. Being in the ballpark, it's special. It's what makes baseball great. It's America's pastime for a reason.
Yeah, it's a timeless sport too. I think another draw for that is you can quote walk it off in another sport, but you are still at the mercy of the clock. Like if you let the shot go after the buzzer in basketball, doesn't matter. If you can't snap the ball before there's triple or quadruple zeros in football, it doesn't matter. Same thing with soccer. You'll go to extra time, shootout, hockey, same thing. Baseball, you could be like bases loaded, full count, 2 outs, game is tied, you're at home, chance to walk it off, and you could see that pitch 10 times in a row because dude just keeps fouling it off. Softball
it's
too.
Special too because it's mano-a-mano with the pitcher.
Yeah.
It's a team sport.
You can't kneel out the clock or you can't run out the clock in basketball and have drawn-out possessions and play the foul game. Like you have to get a team out 3 times.
Yeah, and it's literally that one-on-one, especially closers are typically your best. I'm not, for the Pirates fans out there, that's not true. Yeah, but your best pitcher is out there against your best hitters typically in those situations. And that feeling of it being... Remember the World Baseball Classic a few years ago where it was Shohei?
Trout.
Exactly. It's best on best. I remember that was like the baseball's back. And the pitch clock has done so great. It's a fast game again. And there's just like excitement from game 1 to 162 for us hardo losers that are obsessed with this sport.
There's like, it makes no financial sense because I think Appleton's like an hour and 15 minutes away with traffic. Literally, I'm considering getting a season pass for like high A games for the Brewers, for the Timber Rattlers. I'm like, I think they're like $500-$600. Like,
it's not bad.
If you go to like 30 games, all right, $20 a pop.
If there was one sport that you could get season tickets for like your favorite club, let's just magically just you show up at the field game, whatever.
Yep.
I think it's that or hockey for me.
Okay, yeah.
It's not close because football's great, but it's 8 games a year, 9 maybe.
You don't get the volume. Yeah,
it's not the same. And then there's something romantic that isn't there with other sports. Baseball, like it's part of the grind of the 162 games to get to October. I love this sport. I'm like ready to run through a wall that we're talking about it, and we just had that brutal game. But there's a reason that we're so fired up about it right now, and I can't wait till October already.
That's the beauty too. If you're 0-4 in the NFL, you're just about packing it up already. You're 0-4 in baseball. It does not matter. They could go on a run, and the Royals aren't the Yankees, but they were still a playoff team out of the American League last year. So like that's the other thing too. Strength of schedule. They're bruised up. I think a fully healthy Brewers team in the middle of June is going to look much different than what we're looking at right now. Let's switch over to who's hot, who's not for about the last 3-4 minutes of the show here. Simply the best and worst of the weekend here on the Damn Sports Show, which is brought to you by Real Sports Cards in Waupun. If you're looking for a one-stop shop for all things sports cards, you can head on over to Real Sports Cards in Waupun, or you can check out their app. Whether you're into sports cards or Pokemon cards, Real Sports Cards has you covered. With live breaks streaming right on the app, you can grab individual cards on the go, be a part of a group, and watch for your favorite players and teams as the packs get opened. Go to the Apple or Google Play Store today, as we're showing you here, downloading and navigating the app in 15 easy seconds. And you can look for the orange logo with the 3 cards in between to take your collection to the next level with Real Sports Cards. That is your local resource for all things sports cards, Pokemon cards, and more. I know the Real Sports Cards team over there in Waupun is super hyped that baseball's back. It's a huge driving factor for their business and their passions and being in sports. And speaking of the Timber Rattlers, Tom, the owner of Real Sports Cards, used to work for them. So full circle.
I actually didn't realize that he was part of them.
I think he was, I don't know if he was a scorekeeper. I don't want to speak on his behalf. It was something in either production or scorekeeping or like media relations. But yeah, he worked in baseball for a while. So
I was going to have to ask him about that. Timber Rattlers, by the way, one of the better nicknames out there in sports.
Yeah, all the alter egos too. They have the Utter Tuggers. They've got some cool alter egos. So for who's hot, who's not, best and worst of the last weekend, or I guess this Monday so far. There's low-hanging fruit for who's not. I'm not going to do it. But for who's hot, I would say the Green Bay Packers. We'll talk more about this in tomorrow's show when we've got a full hour blocked out. They were the ones who brought forth the notion that the tush push should be banned, and it would have looked a lot different if they were the only ones who thought that and were at least willing to speak up about it. Per reports, Competition Committee has some interest in banning this strategy. It's getting a little more real as opposed to when we just heard that the Packers were the whistleblowers. So kudos to them. They don't look as bad. I think it would have looked a lot worse if the Packers said, let's ban it. and the competition committee said, learn how to stop it. That doesn't seem to be the unanimous decision at this point.
I've got such torn feelings on this because I don't like that they had to go out there and say it, but at the same time, I am really tired of seeing the tush push.
Yeah.
Like, it's boring. It's not, like, great at this
Player
point.
safety's being brought up, too.
Yeah,
which is fair.
Yeah, and we saw it the last couple of years. It's been harder to succeed. I mean, you're still talking about like a plus 80% success rate on this play, but it's frustrating. So I'm annoyed with it, but I'll address it more tomorrow when we have more time to talk about it. My who's hot, Denny Hamlin.
He got his win.
Finally got his win. Got that grandfather clock from Martinsville, one of my favorite tracks out there. And who does he pop off in the post-race conference? But Ohio State. He talked about my Buckeyes. So not only is my favorite, racer.
Is there a connection there or what?
Well, yeah, he's an Ohio State football fan.
Okay.
So he was at like the Ohio State semifinal. There's an Ohio versus the world. Now he's rocking the 11 versus the world. I love me some Denny Hamlin.
Good stuff. We'll snake this. What's your who's not?
Lane merging. If you are, I hate this. I bring it up all the time. If you are stuck in the right lane and somebody drives all the way up to the front and tries to cut you off, you have full permission from Wally to not let them in.
But you're like advocating for accidents to happen.
I am advocating for that person to not be allowed anymore. They should be in jail.
Mine, who's not, is Rafael Devers. This isn't the case anymore. The Red Sox play today. But he did start the season out 0 for 16 with 12 strikeouts. Tough spot, too, because he's not their third baseman anymore. Alex Bregman is. So Devers is a DH. Very replaceable.
Very.
They're paying him a decent amount, so I don't know if that's going to happen. But 0 for 16 with 12 strikeouts, that is almost like the reason that we came up with a who's not. That's the analogy, right? Someone who's in a slump, he's in a slump. Yeah, he is in a slump. Homer Hour is coming up next. We'll join you for a full hour tomorrow on 1430 ESPN and Daily Dodge TV.
When you're